Hey folks, welcome to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here, and I'm tickled to death that you joined the show. We have Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're going to talk about wintertime nutrition and water management for beef cows, for feedlot cattle. It's an important subject, something I hope you stick around, and more right after the break.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Doc Talk, brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick. In Wamego, just a short drive down the yellow brick road.
Hey folks, welcome to Doc Talk. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Dr. Chris Reinhardt, and we're going to talk to y'all today about feeding cows in the winter. And Dr. Reinhardt is our feedlot specialist for the state of Kansas, but he's a ruminant nutritionist, spends a lot of time on cow issues as well. And he's over in Animal Science Department here at Kansas State University, and welcome to the show.
Great to be here again. Thank you, Dan.
Well, Dr. Reinhardt's one of our staples, him and Dr. Apley and Dr. Lubers, but we have a good core nucleus here at K-State that does a lot of work together. And if you're ever in town, come visit us. Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple. But let's talk about these cows. And one of the things that, you know, we always jump right to feed, but providing good quality water source is important as well.
We always say water's the number one nutrient, and they need it every day. A high volume and a high quality.
Yep, and I think it's important for people to understand that cattle will consume 3 times their dry matter intake in water intake during the fall, the winter, and the spring, and during the summer they go to 5 times their dry matter intake. So it's...
In the summer we could do 3 shows on water. It's so critical. But yes, during the winter, maybe we take it for granted because it's cool, but they still need a lot of water to help process all those nutrients.
Right, and I think that, you know, it's one of those things, whether you're using pond systems and keeping ice chopped, or looking at the different types of water tank systems that are out there, I think it's really, really important. And even the erosion around ponds, if you don't move, if you're chopping ice, you know, you can keep the animals coming to one point, but you better make sure that's a point where you want them to come and get the water.
I like how you led out. We tend to focus on nutrition, on the feed side, but the water is absolutely critical.
Yeah, if we don't have proper water intake, we can come into some metabolic problems and some limited intake problems that are going to cause us issues down the road, and specifically with what we're going to get into with the nutrient quality.
I'm afraid you've seen some of these things firsthand, haven't you, Doc?
Well, yeah, we have seen, whether it's different types of water tanks, you know, that we don't prepare the animals or train the animals properly to use those, or whether it's making sure that we have the adequate natural water supply. During these points in times, if we aren't keeping up with it, especially in the cattle closed system, where the only water they can get, there isn't snow in the pen, they can't substitute snow for water, then we have to make sure that water tanks are not froze up.
That needs to be our priority, not just first thing in the morning, but first thing in the morning and all day when we get these really cold snaps.
Absolutely. Water, 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 and then we can worry about the feed.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to jump into some of the things about wintertime nutrition, and we'll focus on the cow, we'll focus on the nutrients that are available, and we'll focus on some of the delivery systems and things that you can do to improve the management of your cow herd. Thanks for watching Doc Talk. We'll be back right after these messages.
This Meet the Future Veterinarian is brought to you by Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Tyson Beyer, a student at the University of Saskatchewan, recently received an Amstutz scholarship. As a fourth-generation rancher raised on a cow-calf operation, Tyson grew up in the cattle business, and it was natural for him to pursue an education in bovine medicine. After graduation, he plans to work in a large animal practice, then move into bovine reproductive technologies.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chris Reinhardt, and we are at Kansas State University. And Chris is over in the Department of Animal Science, I'm over in Vet Med, but together we work and direct the Beef Cattle Institute here at K-State. And Chris, let's get into some of the nuts and bolts of nutrition on these cows, and what is the most important factor? Kind of lead us off on what we're dealing with wintertime cow feed.
What I like to say is one of if not the primary beauty of a cow is she can make use of a ton of things out there in the field that absolutely no other livestock, or humans for that matter, can make any good use out of, as long as we provide the extra nutrition to help her make use of that. The flip side, the downside of that cow, especially in the wintertime, is she has to deal with everything Mother Nature will throw at us. And we've got to, just like we talked about on the water, we've got to be aware of when weather changes, and that sagebrush and scenery that we've been counting on for maybe weeks or months at a time is not going to be enough.
So really what we're, the old Einstein energy is neither created nor destroyed really is into play here with these cows, because we're going to take energy out of the field and put in these cows, but the cows got to put it right back out to cope with their environment.
When we get these cold snaps, and especially if we get cold coupled with precip, we've got to take care of that cow, and that means we've got to get some extra energy out there to her.
So let's run through. What are some of the ways that we, obviously body condition score is one of those that I use when I go out and examine cow herds and look at cow herds for nutrition status and heading into that fall or into that winter. I'm assuming you do as well.
One of the challenging things about nutrition is, for the most part, we can't look at a cow or a calf and know exactly what their nutritional status is in general. But when it comes to energy status, body condition score is the closest thing we have to a dipstick, that we can look at a cow and know exactly how far up or down she is on energy.
So where do we want these cows to be at, and at what time of the year?
What I like to say is, by the day she calves, we want to be able to see no more than 2 ribs showing first thing in the morning. 2 to 3 ribs showing first thing in the morning is what we call a condition score 5. And that's the bare minimum we'd like her to be in if we expect her to cycle back and settle on time during the breeding season.
So really it's keeping them at a 5 when they calve, so that by the time we come back in 90 days to rebreed, that animal's at a physiological state in which it's normal, going through normal estrus.
Energy is probably the #1 limiting nutrient for cyclicity, for fertility. If she reads that she just doesn't have enough energy to both lactate and take care of that calf and cycle back, first thing to go is going to be reproduction.
Okay, and the last thing we want are the open heifers or open cows coming back out of that. Let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk about some of the energy supplementation and practices that we can impart. You're watching Doc Talk. Thanks for being here. More with Dr. Chris Reinhardt on cow nutrition in the winter when we return.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica Inc.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nels Lindberg with Animal Medical Center and Production Animal Consultation. Quick tip for the day is, how often are you cleaning your water tanks? I'm a stickler for water tank cleanliness. Water drives consumption in cattle. Water also drives health. With inadequate consumption of water, we have decreased consumption, and we're darn sure going to have decreased health. It's a must that we clean these tanks once a week, all the way up to we have our round tanks, stock tanks, whatever it may be. Stock tanks maybe not once a week, but we need to make very sure that those tanks are clean, free of algae, free of debris, free of feed and grass. We want to supply good, clean water. So go out today, check those water tanks, clean them, keep them as clean as you can. We want happy, healthy cows. Thanks.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. Doctalk, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're talking about cow nutrition in the winter. We talked about water. We've talked about wanting them to be a body condition score 5, which is a scale of 1 to 9. 1 being extremely thin and 9 being obese. And we're not going to body condition score me today, but we're going to talk about some of the things you can do as far as, if you're grazing crop residue or you have them out on dormant pasture. What are some of the kind of rules of thumb that you teach or preach to producers on these cows?
Well, the easy way to just get energy to cows, we think of grains in terms of their high energy content. The problem is if we're making use of some of these really low quality feedstuffs, which are tremendous cow feed, like you said, dormant pasture or crop aftermath, grains can be our worst enemy. A little bit is very, very good and helpful, especially during times of cold stress, but any more than that little bit will destroy the ability of that cow to make use of those really good, cheap feed resources.
So overfeeding grain can cause us the cow or the microbes the inability to utilize the dormant pasture or hay.
Adding too much grain can actually take her into a further negative energy balance because she can't make use of that good dormant, that low quality feed stuff.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about what are some of the strategies that you like to look at or like for us to implore.
Again, we can make use of a little bit of grain. I'd like to keep it to a pound or two at the most for the cow. Above that, per head, per head. Above that, especially during times of cold stress, with or without precipitation, we've got to look to some alternative feedstuffs, some what I call fibrous grain byproducts, products of whether it be the ethanol industry, whatever have you, where the starch has been taken out. They still supply good energy, but not in the starchy form. And then in addition to that, we've got to rely on good quality hay to replace a portion of the poor quality feed stuff, which might be the foundation of our winter nutrition program. But when it gets cold, they need more energy.
So good quality hay, look for something that doesn't have as much starch like the byproducts. And so wet, dry distillers, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Whatever you have available and can get use of.
Okay, and then if you're going to supplement corn during some of these cold snaps or times, then make sure no more than a pound or two per head per day.
A little is good. A lot will kill you.
Yep, and then the other thing is that we forget about is the dominant cow or that boss cow, and so spreading it out, supplying bunk space. I know it's not cheap, but it's something that can help all cows receive the nutrition if you give them space and spread out that grain or that supplement.
You bet. Feeds are really our number one cost item on a cow herd. Let's make best use of them.
Okay. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about, some of the check marks during the year that we want to be at on these cows, and make sure you work with your local nutritionist and veterinarian on these issues. We're going to take a break. After the messages, we'll be back to talk more about winter cow nutrition with Dr. Chris Reinhardt. You're watching Doc Talk. Thanks for joining us.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Here's another gardening tip from Annette Jackson at Jackson's Greenhouse.
If you have empty patio planters or hanging baskets left over from last year, you can bring them to Jackson's for replanting this year. Just stop in with your containers and tell us what you want in them. You save money and time and help our environment by recycling your old planters instead of throwing them out.
Bring in your planters and baskets. Sign up to win tickets to the Kansas Garden Show. We'll have 50 pairs, so come on in.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm here with my friend, Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're talking about cow nutrition in the winter. Now, Chris, we were talking during the break. I want to get right to this. Come 1st November is when we pregnancy check our cows, and probably while we're over the top preg checking, we're hollering out body condition scores. Talk to me a little bit about that as a check mark or as a time of year where we've got to make some decisions.
Yeah, Doc, for spring calving cow herds, that preg check time, late fall, is the ideal time to get a really good handle on your entire herd. And here's why. If the 1st of November, we're 3 or 4 months out from the day the first cow drops her calf, we've got 90 to 120 days to make up any lost ground. So if we're looking at that cow herd and we see a number of condition score 4 cows, what's 4? Is where I can see 4 to 5 ribs clearly visible first thing in the morning before she's got a belly full of feed. And we can make these things complicated, but they're really not. If I can count 4 or 5 ribs, she's under condition. But I've got time to make up that extra condition.
And a body condition score is about 90 pounds on a cow. So
Exactly.
Going from a 4 to a 5, we got to put 90 pounds on that cow. So if we got 90 days to calving, we've got 90 to 120 days, a pound a day that cow needs to gain while gestating.
And she's not going to get that on crop aftermath and a little bit of protein. We're going to have to add some extra energy for those cows that are under nutrition.
So then let's talk about, okay, so there's a strategy of, and if we don't get it done by December, or if we haven't recognized it until January, we're too late, right? You really got to have the time back there at November.
We're too late to catch up a full body condition. We're not too late to make up some ground, but it's going to be really hard to put 2 or even 3 pounds a day on some of these cows. It's almost impossible.
Another thing when we were talking during the break, you said a good strategy for producers is if, the cows are, if you have some skinny cows in the herd and you have the fat boss cow, behavior can make these situations worse. So what are some things we need to do?
That may be one reason we do have skinny cows and fat cows, is just the dominant cow is getting 2 or 3 times what she should be getting for supplement. And the best strategy is to isolate these thin cows, these underfed cows, and give them a better opportunity to compete. The question that always comes up is, are you then going to create welfare cows that I have to feed every winter? And the answer is probably yes. But through good record keeping and understanding, well, I have to feed this cow every year. Maybe she needs to have her calf, maybe even wean her calf, and then move her on down the road. But without records, we have no way of knowing.
Right. So keeping good records, management, knowing your cows, body condition score is a key to understanding what kind of supplementation program you're going to have. Anything else?
Well, I'll just reiterate. Body condition scores as close as we have to a dipstick.
Well, folks, thanks for joining us today on Doc Talk. And Chris, thanks as always for you being here and sharing your knowledge with us. If you want to know more about what Dr. Reinhardt and I do here at K-State, you can find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian or your local nutritionist on issues such as this. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson. You've been watching Doc Talk. We're sure glad you joined us, and I'm going to see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.